The jury is out as to whether on-the-bike strength training does us any good or not. Overgeared efforts producing more torque for the same power.
I mean, some pros swear by it and others, well, don't really care at all.
But should we be doing it? And is there any science to back it up? We have done the research. So what is strength training? Well, therein lies the first misconception. Strength actually refers to our ability to lift a one-off max effort. So, for example, if you went to the gym and you lifted one big rep on the squat rack, that would be the maximum strength that you can exert. And after that, we are at best referring to strength endurance.
What we should actually call it when we talk about on-the-bike strength efforts is high torque efforts. Torque, by definition, is force generated through rotation. Basically what propels us forward. The idea behind doing high torque efforts is to increase the maximal torque we can put through the pedals, making us a stronger and more powerful rider.
There is more to it than just this. It's also considered as one method of creating a more effective and more efficient pedal stroke, and it can be useful when it comes to working on your muscle recruitment patterns and also the recruitment of your fast twitch muscle fibers, although that only happens if you do these efforts at the correct intensity.
The theory though is when contracting the muscles at a different firing rate and pattern under load, then there will be created different stimulus, which will ultimately make the muscles adapt to become stronger.
Now, we are by no means scientists, are we, Hank?
No, and we did forget our GCN Does Science class.
Yeah, not ideal. But luckily for us, our old coach Steve Benton was able to give us a hand with all the science behind this video. Steve has over 23 years experience of coaching and managing elite athlete performance programs at pro, world and Olympic level. 15 years as a consultant coach or team coach in pro cycling from world tour to national UK level. Former team human performance coach in motorsport, strength and conditioning coach with GB swimming and GB gymnastics, and coached or managed athlete support teams to over 40 elite level championships. So what did we learn from Steve?
Scientific evidence is mixed when it comes to proven benefits.
Yeah, but in certain contexts and depending on rider status, it could be an effective session to include within your training program. All this talk.
Yeah. If, for example, a rider is suffering from varying degrees of personal muscular imbalances on the bike, then it can be a great tool to bring awareness of the issue to the rider, ensuring they put good focus on all parts of the pedal stroke. They can really hone in a good pedal stroke this way. However,
when on the bike, compared to squatting even just our own body weight, the strength required to ride up a gradient, even in a big heavy gear at 45 RPM, is actually relatively low. It can be bad for your knees. There is enough force for that, as we don't all have good pedal and cleat setups. But there is not enough force being exerted to increase pure strength. There is, to this day, no scientific evidence showing a direct correlation between strength work and endurance performance.
But do you need to actually incorporate this session into your program? I mean, a lot of pros talk about it, but is it just fashion and trend? And are you doing it because the pros have incorporated it into their session? But does it actually feel like it works?
Psychologically, it is an easy session to do. I mean, you can feel your legs burning, you feel like you're aware of making the perfect pedal stroke every time, which makes it feel like you're doing something worthwhile. Further to that, the murky proof that it is an effective session and the fact that it's easier to complete than other max exertion efforts does make it an easy session to do. So can we all benefit from high torque training? Well, yes and no, it seems. If you are a fast sprinter type rider and you want to improve your fast twitch muscle recruitment, then you may well benefit from doing some short duration high torque efforts at VO2 or anaerobic power.
And also, if you have recognised issues on the bike that originate from muscle imbalances or problems with getting muscles to fire at the correct moments in the pedal stroke, well then this could help.
But it still isn't that clear cut.
If you are a time trial type rider and you've got good all-round condition and there's not real area that you're lacking in during a race, then you probably don't need to include them into your program. So is this sort of training fact or fiction? And should you be incorporating it into your training program?
Well, that depends on the individual, but the general consensus is that you don't actually stand to benefit a huge amount from high torque sessions, and you are therefore probably better off focusing your attention on other aspects of your performance.
So Chris, does that mean we can kind of spin up and enjoy the ride now?
Well, it means we don't need to go up in the big ring anymore.
That sounds good. Anyway, if you did like this video, then give it a big thumbs up.
And if you want to see more training videos, click down there.